Putin News Today. Putin toughens punishments for draft dodgers and gears up for a new recruitment push. At a time when the invasion of Ukraine is entering its second year, the Kremlin has introduced harsh new penalties for those who avoid military call-up. According to the TASS state news service, President Vladimir Putin signed the law into effect on Friday after it was rushed through parliament earlier this week in just 24 hours. Conscripts and mobilized reservists will receive their military call-up notices online under the new rules, and will be prohibited from leaving the country almost immediately thereafter. Those who don't respond to the summons within 20 days will lose the ability to buy or sell property, as well as other privileges, such as driving a car. Previously, such notices could only be valid if personally delivered and signed for by the recipient. According to former Kremlin advisor Sergei Markov, the changes will come as a big shock for Russia, as even Russian nationals living abroad will be subject to the same restrictions as Russian citizens and will receive electronic summonses. "We have entered a new era," he declared on Telegram. The measures establish a new centralized database accessible via the Internet to keep tabs on the tens of millions of Russians who could be conscripted. The Kremlin has stated that there are no current plans to increase troop deployment to Ukraine. While Kyiv readies a counteroffensive using new weapons supplied by its allies in the US and Europe, Russia is digging in for a fight that could last years. Up to 1 million Russians fled the country last year due to public panic caused by the call-up of 300,000 reservists. Putin later gave orders to modernize a decades-old mobilization system by making it more streamlined and automated. The Kremlin has taken a softer stance this year, hoping to avoid the backlash a new mass call-up would cause by instead recruiting as many as 400,000 contract troops. Experts in the military and government say that target is ambitious given the current recruiting crisis. The United Kingdom estimates that as many as 200,000 Russian soldiers were killed or injured during the first year of the conflict. In September, Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said that Russia has 25 million reservists available, though it has so far only called up slightly more than 1% of them. "The most logical thing to do is never to come back until the end of the Putin regime," said Anastasia Burakova, founder of the ARC, an organization helping Russians emigrate to other countries. Officials tried to reassure people by saying the changes were for the better, despite the fact that they were rushed through parliament with little to no debate. Senator Lyudmila Nerusova, in a rare dissenting voice, argued that the legislation was adopted in a huge rush, and that it violated fundamental rights. "Let's not act like we don't know the intent of this law," she said at a parliamentary hearing. A senior fellow at the Carnegie Russia Eurasia Center and founder of the R-Politik consultancy, Tatiana Stanovaya, has compared the use of digital technology to round up people for military duty in Ukraine to a modern reincarnation of Soviet-era controls used in the Gulag system of penal camps. She said that the authorities were very fast, ahead of many other states, even of an authoritarian type, building a new political reality, in which rights and responsibilities are regulated by digital platforms controlled by state agencies. Many people were discussing the concept of a digital gulag even before the COVID pandemic. It has recently picked up speed,